it's Tana. Welcome back to the channel and another video for the Scrappy Tales Crafts. So today we're going to make two cards. I'm showing you here what I have from the latest release there really quick. And I'm going to be using the Fairy Friends stamp set, the Fairy Sentiments stamp set, and the Old English Intricate Upper Letters hot foil set. So this is the very first time I'm using my Glimmer hot foil system. I have to say it was fairly easy. I didn't have a problem with it. So, except that I used too much foil the first time, so I wasted it because it smushed onto the rest of my cardstock, as you can see right there. But that's okay. So, I also used the Old English lower letter set too as well. So I did those really quick and fussy cut them out and set them off to the side. And now I'm going to make the panel for my background for my first card. And I have the colors listed on the screen there for you. I always love magical cards because I can use any colors I want. I mean, I guess in reality you could use any color you want on any color card, but that's what makes card making so fun. So I chose these colors for my fairies and for their background, and I thought it looked fairly magical. I just did some quick layers of clouds, and I always go down below where I think my grass is going to be, just so I don't have to pull everything back out again. And I already have my grass pre-cut and inked up, or ink blended, and I believe I put those colors on there for you as well. And now I am stamping out of the same cardstock that I ink blended for the grass, the rest of my sentiment, which is You Are. And I used Wow Bright White Superfine embossing powder for that. And then I colored in the insides of my letters in a shade that would match my grass, because that's where they're going to be glued, is right down there in the grass. The white just didn't look right, so I colored in every spot that was white with some green. And now I'm just going to start laying out my images. So first I'm going to put some mushrooms behind my grass. And I thought I left enough of my grass unglued to tuck those mushrooms and toadstools down in there. But I had a little bit of a hard time. I bent some of my little blades of grass and had to put them back into place. I also used my Jelly Roll glaze pens on those spots on top of my toadstools to make them a little bit more shiny and magical. And then I'm going to have a fairy sitting on top of the letter M after I get all these letters placed here. And using your tweezers while you're placing them really does help keep them straight. I always try to use my fingers, and I don't know why when I have like 3 pairs of craft tweezers. So here I'm going to take this piece of tonic cardstock there. I showed you the color I used. I can't remember, but I know I put it up there. And use that, and it's iridescent, so it's going to sparkle as the card moves back and forth. And it's just a thin frame of it. I didn't want too much of it showing because I didn't want to subtract from my magical letters. So, because those are pretty as well. I popped the fairy up on foam tape so that she would appear to be sitting right on top of that M. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue just to make sure she stays in place. And then I popped up the sentiment You Are as well, so it would look like she's holding it. And then we have another fairy here that's kind of floating around, and she's popped up with some foam tape. And all my fairy wings have glitter pen in them on the lines, the veins, and I thought that looked really cute. Now for the second card here, I have inked up some Dectahulls and spruce because it's going to be more of an evening scene, and I switched my slimline to vertical, which would be portrait. And I have already ink blended my clouds because nobody wants to see that twice in one video. But I showed you the colors I used there, and I was trying to make it seem like it was it was past sunset, but you could still see the reflection of the light into the clouds was what I was going for, and I think it looks cute. I like the way it turned out. And then we have all these hedgehogs colored in rainbow colors, like pale rainbow colors, and they're staring up at our fairies here. And now this card's going to be an interactive card, So the fairy sitting up in the moon there, her wings are gonna light up. I had a hard time deciding where my lights were gonna go. Was I gonna have the moon light up? Which fairy? If I was gonna have a fairy light up? So even though there's only 3 lights, I poked 4 holes in the wings, because you can place one of the lights so that if you block it off with foam tape, it will shine through 2 holes instead of 1. So I'm just placing my fairy there with her poked holes in her wings so I can line them up with the card and the piece of cardstock behind. And now I'm going to glue her in place right over the holes. And if you can't see those holes, place it over your white cardstock and you'll be able to see the holes better. And now I'm going to line up where I want the push button on the ezlights to go. And I just poked a hole there because it won't matter. It'll be covered up by the little butterfly that says push. Now, the butterfly was too small to stamp push from an interactive stamp set, so I just wrote push with a black permanent marker. And I cut those butterflies out using the fairy silhouette die set. It has 3 butterfly die with 3 butterflies in it, and I just cut those out of a satin mirrored cardstock from Tonic. And now I'm just putting the battery in here and making sure my lights work and coiling them into place. I have already marked with a pencil where the lights should be. So while you're coiling, just be aware of whether your light's facing up or down, because you want it to face up. And be very careful. Cut your tape before you place it on your wires. Don't cut it after, because I have snipped wires before. Ezlights are really easy to use. It's just a matter of putting the battery in and putting the lights where you want. So now I'm going to pop this up on a double layer of foam tape. I'm actually using Heffy Doodles 3mm deep, which is like doubling up foam tape to be double high. And now I'm going to place it up around my lights as well, just to box in those lights so that they're brighter. Now after I have that all done, I'm going to make sure that my lights still work, everything's all still good. Then I'll peel off the backing from all of my foam tape. I'll put some glue on that as well. Be careful you don't get it near your battery pack. And now I'm going to very carefully place my front panel onto the light panel. Now we're going to glue the whole thing onto its card base, which is a dark gray card base. And now I'm gluing some like teardrop, raindrop shaped gems. One in the center of each butterfly, except for the push butterfly. And then one over the holes I punched for the lights so that they shine a little bit brighter. And then I have a sentiment down here in the corner that says, "Every friendship has a story." And that sentiment comes with the Fairy Friends stamp set. And there's our card lighting up. And that's it for this month's video, guys. Be sure to check out Scrappy Tales Crafts on Instagram. And be aware that there's tons of inspiration on there for you guys to follow. Follow the design team. They've got new stuff coming out almost every single day. And we will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye for now.